Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today we will continue the types of companies, and we have learned there are two types of companies yesterday's class, that was private company and public company, where we have learned private company is that company where the ownership is in the hands of the individual person. Government control is very less, or you can say it is no. It is having minimum of 2 members and maximum of 50 members, excluding the employees, restrict the rights of members to transfer their shares, does not offer its shares to general public so that government control will be less, does not invite general public to invest deposit with the company. That company is known as private company. Now comes public company student. Once again we will have a public company is that company which is having a minimum of 7 members, a maximum no limit is there, permit easy transfer of its shares, invite general public to subscribe to its public deposits, invite general public to subscribe to its shares and debentures, has minimum paid up capital of 5 lakh. Any private company which is subsidiary of a public company can be considered as public company. Now what are the benefits? Yesterday I was saying I will be going to explain you in the next class, that is the benefits of private company over public company. When we talk about the privileges or benefits of private company over public company student, there are the following private benefits there. A private company can be formed with only 2 members, whereas at least 7 members are needed to form a public company. A private company must have at least 2 directors, whereas a public company must have minimum 3 directors. It is not compulsory for a private company to maintain index of its members, whereas it is mandatory compulsion for public company to maintain the index. Okay, so these lines what is said there, there is a benefit. 2 members, if they are ready, they can start the private company, but public company at least 7 members are needed, then only they can think about starting a company. Private company, when we talk, at least 2 directors are needed, whereas public company you have to arrange at least 3 directors. Not compulsory for a private company to maintain index of its members, whereas it is mandatory for public company to note down each and every member details and the share ratio. Private company can issue loan to its directors, but public company it is not there. Must take permission of government, but it is very difficult also. Compulsory for a private company to hold a statutory meeting and file a statutory report. That is not compulsory for a private company, whereas it is mandatory for a public company to have a statutory meeting and to file a statutory report also with the registrar. There is no restriction on the numbers, appointments and remuneration of directors of a private company, whereas there are many restrictions on the appointment, number and remuneration of directors of public company. When we talk about private company student, it is not necessary for a private company to issue a prospectus, where it is essential for a public company. Private company can commence a business after getting certificate of registration, whereas public company can start business only after receiving the certificate for commencement of business. So that is a major difference, student. What makes a private company is having more benefit than the public company, because in many of the ways, from the membership to the last distribution of authority and liability, private company is having more benefit than the public company. Now come difference between private company and public company. When we talk the points of difference, private company and public company. Private company minimum 2 members are there, public company minimum 7 members. Private company maximum 50 members are needed, but public company maximum no limit is there. Number of directors, when we talk, in private company minimum 2 directors, again the same thing is there, and the public company you remember there are 3 directors. Invitation to general public doesn't invite, private company never invite the general public for issuing the shares, whereas in the public company it is they invite general public to subscribe to its share, debentures, public deposit, etc. Prospectus, when we talk, student did not need issue any prospectus, whereas public company it is compulsory to issue a prospectus or a statement in lieu of prospectus. Transfer of shares does not permit transfer of share without prior permission in private company, whereas public company free transfer of share is permitted. Statutory meeting and report, when we talk, no compulsion for holding statutory meeting and filing of statutory report, whereas public company it needs to hold a statutory meeting and must file a statutory report. Index of members, when we talk student, there is no compulsion to maintain the index of members in private company, whereas it is mandatory to maintain the statutory reports index of members for the public company, so that whenever accounting will be done by the government, it will be provided by the private company. Legal formalities, when we talk student, exempted from various legal formalities. The private company are exempted from many of the legal formalities, but public company, when we talk, each and every step from the starting itself, all the work legal formalities are included, and all must be done in the paperwork only. Minimum paid up capital of is 1 lakh for private company, whereas minimum paid up capital for public company is 5 lakh. Difference between company and cooperative society, I put before you the I'm putting before you the page. It is must be clear to you that companies need registration, but cooperative societies also need registration, but under Cooperative Society Act, here at the Companies Act it required. Okay. Company minimum 2 members, but in cooperative society minimum 2 members are needed to form a cooperative organization, and here company form 2 for private and for 7 for the public company. Main motive of the company is to earn profit, whereas the main motive of cooperative society is to provide service to its members. Transfer of shares, when we talk student, there is free transfer of shares in the public company, in the public company, but there is limitation. There is some restriction in the private company. When we talk about cooperative society, transfer of shares not permitted, shares can be returned. It can be sold, or it can be returned to the society, but it cannot be sold off. Transfer of shares is not permitted, but it can be returned back. You can voluntarily step back from the cooperative society, like that it is. It is transfer of share is not there. Voting rights, when we talk, 1 share 1 vote is there in the democratic setup in company form of organization. Cooperative society also 1 member 1 vote is there. Management point of view, when we say, the board of directors and professional experts are there to look after the company form of organization, whereas cooperative society, when we talk, voluntary and honorary service of members is there. Privileges, when we talk, no special privileges granted by the government for the private company, whereas many concession exemptions granted to cooperative organization by the government in cooperative society. So these were the student cooperative and company. I think it is related, and now it is clear to you people. Now we turn to the next page. Formation of a joint stock company student. When we talk, the next process after these differences is the formation of a joint stock company. Joint stock company formation, before that I want to clear out student, private company only the first 2 steps is needed, whereas public company, when we talk, there are 3 steps for the formation of a company. Okay. So the steps, first of all, we will see joint stock company has to follow a certain specified legal procedure for its formation. Planned action and conscious efforts are specified. Formation of a company involves the following stages student. Very first, promotion. Second, incorporation. Third, capital subscription stage. Fourth, commencement of business. Okay. For private company, only promotion and incorporation is sufficient. Capital subscription stage is not there, and the commencement of business also. But in public company, there is no option. They have to fulfill all the 4 steps for the formation of a company. Today I will be going to explain you the promotion step of the company, in which the promotion stage includes all the steps right from conception of idea to starting the company till it is formed. It is a process of planning and organizing all the resources required to form a company. Promotion involves the discovery of business idea, its investigation and assembling necessary resources to set up the business. In short, if you want to know, promotion is that stage in the formation of the company where you lay the starting brick for the formation of the company. It includes all those ideas which is needed for starting up the business to make the pillar of the company formation. That is known as promotion. It includes all those ideas first, in which all the decisions related to how to start the business, which type of company we will start, what is the nature of the company, that all the decisions we are occupying in this promotional stage. And this promotion is mainly not done by the person, it can be done by the owner of the business, it can be done by the hiring a promoter from the market, it can be done by the directors of the company. So it is done by different peoples. Mainly the person who is doing this promotion is known as the promoter of the company, and he is getting the, first of all, the initial expenses, whatever he is in the business comes, it is done by the promoter. Afterwards he will get the money back for whatever expenses the person had been done, but it is the expense which is made by the promotion. So promotion involves the discovery of business idea, its investigation and assembling necessary resources to set up the business. The person who perform all the activities during the promotion stage is known as promoter. The promoter conceives the business idea and takes all initiative to form a company. The promoter can be an individual, a group of person or an institution. The promoter performs the following function. These functions are also known as steps in the promotion stage. Very first step in the promotion stage is identification of business organization opportunity. The promotion stage begins with the discovery of an idea to set up a business. It can be an idea to set up a new business or an idea to expand the existing business. The promoter identifies the profitability of the idea by analyzing the opportunities available in that area. So very first stage in the promotion stage is students' identification of business opportunity, because now the competition is very tough. If we will be going in such a business where there is no demand of the product, or where the competition is very tough, we cannot compete, then it will be a loss for our business. So in this world we have to make a research that which business opportunity will be good for us. In this promotion stage we set up this idea. Next is feasibility study. On the basis of the above identification of business opportunity, various capital required, various finance required, according to the decision, now we will be analyzing financially we can do that business or not. We will make a feasible study that what things are required for running that type of business. Now we will match with the finance what we are having, or we can arrange that we will match whether we can go with that idea or not. That is a feasibility study, means practical study of the thing which we had planned. We are comparing it with the practical aspect. That is feasibility study. After analyzing all the concepts related to the idea discovered, the promoter start doing detailed investigation to give practical shape to the idea. He does detailed investigation regarding cost, profitability, production process, demand of the product, etc. While doing this, the promoter takes the help of a specialist or experts such as chartered accountant, engineers, etc. The specialists make an objective analysis of all the details collected by the promoter, and the reports of the specialist help the promoter to take a decision regarding the size of the business, location of the plant, amount of capital, etc. That is known as feasibility study. Feasibility study includes the following things. Technical feasibility. Sometimes the idea is good, but technically it may not be possible to implement the idea because machinery and all the things are so expensive that we cannot bear up with the money which we are having. Okay, the project is considered technically unfeasible unless the technology or other required inputs can be imported or are available in our country. That is known as technical feasibility. Like for example, we want to deal with some of the agriculture products. Then we have to make a technical feasibility, the techniques and the way of working we can apply for our work or not. If not, then it will not be suited. That idea will not suit for our business. Financial feasibility, same way. Whatever if we have in the promotion initial stage, we have decided so much capital is required, so much fund is needed for the business idea to go on. So last that this cannot be arranged within the available means, then it is said to be financially unfeasible. Unfeasible means it cannot set up according to financial capacity of the business. So that idea will be unfeasible. For example, one may have an idea to urbanize a rural area, but the funds required to carry out this idea are so huge that it may not be covered into the action plan due to financial unfeasibility. Next is economical feasibility, student. When we talk economic feasibility, student, sometimes a project is abandoned just because it might not be very profitable. Okay, some promotions we have decided so and so business we will be doing, so and so profit we will have, but later we will judge that this business is not getting so much profit has been decided. Generally, businessmen prefer to carry on with the idea which are profitable. So it will, if it is not there, it can be considered as economical unfeasible decision. So these decisions work out when it is feasible. If it is unfeasible, we have to go with the other ideas. Next, if the feasibility study gets over and we finally comes to a thing that which type of business we will start, we will decide the name of the company. Okay, name approval we will do. Two companies cannot have identical names anywhere. If it is done, because copyright we are getting, it is necessary for every company to get its name approved from the registrar so that it does not match with any other company's name. And it will be good for our company, because if same identical name companies are there, one company is doing wrong, other can get affected. So it is good only to have one name. Generally, company gives these names in order to priority to the registrar. The registrar matches the name with the names of the other companies, and if it is not identical, then the registrar approves the name. Fixing up signatories to memorandum of association student. Definitely, after the name gets approved, then in the memorandum of association, which is a law book. Okay, important books are there. I will explain to you. Memorandum of association, article of association. Memorandum of association student, it is very important book in which director signature is needed, that they are declaring that they are ready to continue this business. Promoters have to decide about the people who will be signing the memorandum. Usually the signatories of memorandum become the first director of the company. Promoters also take their written consent to act as director and ask them to buy qualification shares. Qualification shares are the reserve shares which is kept for the director, because director are those person who are getting much more preference than the other shareholder. There are the person who can take over the business at any point. They can manage the business in any of the situation. That are the role of the directors. So they are getting some qualification shares which they will be purchasing. Appointment of professional students. The promoter appoints the brokers and the underwriter to ensure the availability of capital by sale of a company's securities, and solicitors are appointed to deal with the legal matters of the company. Bankers are appointed to have smooth financial dealings. So these are the persons who are appointment of professionals are done. So has some legal formality has to be done. Some lawyers are needed. They can help us to know whether the things are right or not. Some chartered accountants are needed who will be helping us to know the budget will be going up, what they can control over the budget. So these professional experts are hired. Okay. Next is, this is a promotion step in which we are appointing so and so people, we are hiring so and so people, we are making the signature and all. Preparation of necessary documents. After the company get a name, so many documents which is needed, like article of association, memorandum of association, prospectus. Every document which is needed for the formation of company is prepared. A promoter takes up the step to prepare all the legal document of the company which have to be submitted to the registrar at the time of incorporation stage. This is the second stage came, incorporation stage. Incorporation of a company is the second stage of the formation of a company student. Incorporation refers to the registration of the company under Companies Act 1956. The main steps under the incorporation stage are as follows. Very first is filing of necessary documents. Once the registrar approves of the name, the following documents have to be submitted with the registrar. Memorandum of association, article of association, statement of authorized capital, a list of directors with their names, address, occupation and age. The written consent of the directors to act as director, notice of the address of the registered office of the company, a statutory declaration stating that all the formalities related to the form of the company are duly completed. This all if we get submitted, then the registrar makes all the documents verified, and if he is satisfied with all the documents, then he get the registration. And before giving the registration, he will be charging fees, that is payment of fees. Along with filing of the above document, the prescribed fees will have to be given to deposited with the registrar so that he can proceed the work. Next is registration. When the registrar verifies all the documents and get all the fees which is receipt of all the fees, then he will get satisfied with the validity of and authenticity of the documents submitted with the registrar, enters the name of the company in the register. Certificate of incorporation state student. The next step, after he will get satisfied, after entering the name of the company in the registrar issues a certificate of incorporation. From this date onward, the company is considered as a separate legal entity. That day itself, the company can sign the contract. That day itself, the company make an agreement. Effect of the certificate of incorporation, when we say this is a pro forma of the certificate of incorporation, you can see there. Only the private company have to complete up to this. Effect of the certificate of incorporation. When it get affected, a company is legally born on the date printed on the certificate of incorporation. It is considered as separate legal entity with perpetual succession, means people may come or people may go, it will not affect because company is having its own identity. The certificate of incorporation is conclusive evidence of the legal existence of the company. Whatever may be the deficiency in the formalities, once the certificate is issued, it is conclusive evidence that company came into existence on the date mentioned on the certificate of incorporation. Example will make more clear. The certificate of incorporation was issued on 24th August, whereas on the certificate date was written on as 22nd August. The company is considered to be born on 22nd August only, and 23rd August or 22nd August, if they make any type of contract, that will be valid. So all dealings carried on 23rd August will be considered legal, although the certificate was issued only on 24th August, that is the incorporation stage. I hope this today the promotion and incorporation stage is clear. Next class, commencement of business and the other and the next capital subscription stage, I will be explaining with the different types of promoters meaning. Okay, thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.